Hi everyone, Mark Leslie here, and I kind of want to do a quick video, just do a really quick, one of these quick videos. I try to do a quick overview on stuff that I think would help you guys on your spiritual path. I am like your spiritual friend. So I want to talk about love, right? Because we know that love is one of the primary forces that they always talk about spirituality: love, understanding, and compassion. So most people would be like, how could we be like that? What, there's just so much chaos and anger. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about that. So first of all, first thing you have to understand is the kingdom of heaven is within. So that means everything comes from inside, because thoughts create reality. Therefore, anything you ever want in life, like let's just say you want to go out today, before you can go out, you have to think of like, where do I want to go? What do I want to wear? What time does it have to go there? That all are as part of the planning in your consciousness. So therefore, before anything can happen, it comes from your consciousness. You have to think, you have to plan, you have to organize, you have to prepare. So anything in the universe comes here. So let's just say you have a plan. So let's just say in 5 years you want to become whatever it is you want to become, like you want to lose 20 pounds. You know that you have to have a plan. You can have the end result, but then usually you have to have a plan that goes in order to manifest that design. So in essence, when you understand that thoughts create reality. So therefore, understanding your consciousness is essential to understanding how the external world is. So in essence, you then understand that the external world is a reflection of your internal world, because whatever happens outside of yourself is actually a reflection of what you have inside your consciousness. And a lot of spirituality really emphasizes, like Buddhism and things like that talks about your thoughts create reality. You got to pay attention to this. Also, when they do rituals, they always do prayers. Prayers is like going inside and praying to your inner wisdom, to yourself, to the divine feminine, to get into that magic of the subconscious to create miracles. So you can see that just even with prayers, you're doing thoughts create reality. When you're doing magic, what you're doing is your magic. What they're trying to do is they try to use an element, and then they try to do elemental magic to usually try to control other people. But you would have to try to use it by invoking your inner verse. Also, when you have stuff like placebo in the medical terminology, they understand that with your thoughts can actually cure yourself in your belief systems based on the placebo effect. So therefore, when they have clinical trials, they have like one for the real medicine and one for how your thoughts processes and heals itself. So in essence, that kind of just delegates to us that thoughts create reality. And then when you talk about Adam and Eve, they try to explain this by saying, Adam is your consciousness and Eve is your subconsciousness. So therefore, the big in the beginning there was the Adam and Eve. So when you understand that thoughts create reality, and that's why meditation is essential, because we get to understand ourselves and how the outside of our verse manifests, you realize that we're always having this symbiotic relationship with outside and inside. Now what happens is you're always manifesting, even if you forget this truth. So what happens is, in the last cycle, from my understanding, is we forgot about this wisdom. We were taught to worship externally as opposed to internally. So when we worship externally as opposed to internally, we created what they would call shadow. So your shadow is like the unconscious part of your consciousness, and through that unconscious part of your subconsciousness, which is really associated to like emotions and belief systems, and maybe even belief systems that someone told you how to believe, indoctrinations, we start to manifest subconsciously or unconsciously. So there's two ways you can manifest. You can manifest where you're consciously, where you're putting your own divine willpower, your sovereignty. That's why a lot of spirituality talk about going within and being in the center, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Being right here, being sovereignty, understanding yourself, coming to your center, and then praying and understanding, because you are actually manifesting. Now if you're not manifesting with your own sovereignty, you're actually unconsciously manifesting. So when you're unconsciously manifesting, you can unconsciously manifest which is called your shadow, because shadow in psychology is your unconscious. So what happens is there are societies or secret societies or rituals or shadow magicians or black magician, which knows that people are manifesting, but they're unconsciously manifesting. So what they would do is they would utilize you or program you to manifest for them by usually implementing fear, emotions, and things of that desire, so you can manifest on their behalf. So that's why when you understand that all of the negative stuff that's happening on the external world is really a reflection of our internal verse, as above, so below. This isn't only just happening with you and I, this is happening on a collective consciousness. So in essence, all this conflicts that's happening with like war and genocide has to be the unconscious manifestations of the collective consciousness. So then we have to look at the collective consciousness and be like, what are the systems and what are the things that in our society that we refuse to look at? So if you look at that, one of the things is to address racism, particularly with colonializations and white supremacy. That's something that we've always ignored, with slavery and the civil rights. We've just kind of like put a Band-Aid on it and not really looked at it. So in essence, we can understand through looking at society as above, so below, and just really understanding the universe is asking us to really address the shadow of the collective consciousness, the colonization, the education, the spirituality, the religion, anything that is making us not own up to our own spirituality, our inner verse, our authority to manifest, our unconscious manifestations. That is what the universe is wanting us to look at and to alchemize. So that's why we got to do alchemy, inner alchemy for yourself. But since we're all one, if you clean up your own shadow, I can clean up my own shadow, we can all clean up our own shadow, we can all shift the vibration, because in essence, it's kind of like the God or the universe is like manifesting half in unconscious shadow, which is being manipulated through emotions, propaganda, religions, indoctrination. So we have to look at that and be like, what are you making us manifest? What is your history? We got to look at that, because that's why when you look at gods and goddesses, they're always associated with wisdom, knowledge, understanding, because that's when you understand that what your consciousness is doing. So therefore, putting light, putting consciousness, putting awareness, which is light, fire, right, and lighting up the subconscious or that shadow part of our consciousness, then we bring light to it. And then that's why when you get the halo, right, when the enlightened people have a halo, their whole consciousness is lit up because they are fully awakened, and that's what's happening. So that's my video. Hope you like it, and I'll see you in my next. Peace.